Hello and welcome to another episode of Boxing TV. We bring the fighters to the fans. Coming up on today's show, 5 times world champion and the inspiration to the movie Bleed for this, Vinny Paz. Stay tuned. A massive welcome to my next guest and someone who is, again, so inspirational. Tough as they come, and what a legend. Let's just put it there. What an absolute legend. Mr. Vinny Paz. Vinny, how you doing? You well?
I'm good. Good to see you, Dan.
Better for seeing you, mate. Absolutely better for seeing you. Now, I know that a lot of people out there will know who you are already, but this is something that goes worldwide, out in Africa and the UK and Europe, and maybe people aren't as familiar, and some people just watch the show because they just see like me being stupid, I think, a lot of the time. So let's just introduce you. Vinny Paz, you are multiple weight world champion, unbelievable fighter back in the day, I'm sure you still are now, with an awesome record of 50 wins and 10. Look, yeah, that's now you're talking my language. 50 wins and 10 losses, but just an incredible career. We like doing things a little bit differently than normal, Vinny, and we like to really get to know the person, behind the gloves and find out really what makes you tick. So let's start right from the very beginning. What got you into boxing, Vinny?
Unbelievable guy. I just thought the world of him. He was Paz-tastic. He was bombastic. he was loud and proud, and I kind of emulated him through my whole life. And he was a great man. He was a great man when racism was really going on. His name, and everybody's gonna know, is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
he's why I started boxing at 5 years old.
Muhammad Ali, we recently had Larry Holmes on the show, and he said how much love he had for him. He was a great human being. So Muhammad Ali was your inspiration then? Yeah,
well, 1,000%. Yeah, that 5X right there wouldn't have been there.
Wow.
I don't know what I would have done. I might have been a DJ in a radio studio. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? So let's talk about you when you kind of your life growing up. What were you like as a kid? Where did you grow up? And what were you like as a child?
I got really lucky. In life, you got to be a little lucky. You got to be good, but you got to be lucky. You got to have luck on your side, and you can't pick your parents. I got lucky. My parents were phenomenal. They were Paz-tastic. They were really great people, and wanted to see the best for me all the time.
Yeah.
They did everything. They did everything behind the scenes. I mean, my mother washed my clothes till I was 40 years old.
Are you kidding?
They were incredible. Yeah, they really were. And it was sad, like right at the end, they started failing. They led a good life, and I got lucky enough to help them lead a good life. And they died right before my last fight, the both of them. They died a month apart. And
really?
They died about a couple months before my last fight in 2004. And my father died first, then my mother died of cancer. My father had Alzheimer's. And the last fight of my life, my 50th win, I wanted to get to 50 wins.
Yep.
Not too often is that done today. And I got my 50th win, and it was the hardest fight of my life because I didn't have my parents with me.
Sorry to hear that, Vinny. I'm very, very lucky. I've still got my mum and dad, and I can't imagine how hard that is. So I'm really sad to hear that, my friend. I really am.
But I mean, life's got to come to an end for everybody sometimes. So
yeah,
I'm glad at least my parents, that I let them lead a pretty good life. They loved me like my God, like they would have done anything for me. That's why I won 5 world titles. If it wasn't for them, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be one-time champ or not, but they made it real easy for me. Easier.
Vinny, you're talking my language now, mate. You really, really are. You've got. I'm someone who's stand in front of any man, but honestly, I watch Free Willy and I start crying. Honestly, don't start me off. That's you remind me of me with my son. He's only 6 years old and he's my absolute world. So yeah, that's
cool.
It's great to hear. Great to hear. Love it. So what was I know you said about Muhammad Ali, but what was kind of your first boxing memory then?
It's funny you say that. I'm glad you said that because hopefully I can play this over again. I want to show it to one of my friends because I still have. He's still a real good friend of mine, and maybe the only one that I've had through all my life. It's a kid named. He's not a kid. He's a man, but it's a guy named Greg Vartanian, and he was the first kid I got in the ring with.
Okay.
And he was 9 years older than me. So he go, thinking I was gonna kick this kid's ass. Little kid, 14 years old. He was like 21. And he couldn't hit me. And then I gave him a beating. And he was like, going, what the hell? I'm getting beat up by a little kid. Yeah. And what the hell is going on here? So then we just ended up becoming friends, and he followed me my whole career, and
wow.
He brags to everybody. And Vinny Paz beat my ass when I was like 10 years older than him.
I love it. So one thing I want to talk to you about is your first world title. You fought Greg Hogan for the lightweight world title. Tell us a little bit about that. Talk us through the fight.
Okay. I couldn't make weight. So I finally make 135. And I make the weight, and I was sick as a dog before the fight, and I was just like shaking my head and going, Jesus, please, not this day, let this happen. Mm-hmm. It was because I lost so much weight after the weigh-in. I loaded up on everything, drinking all kind of fluid, trying to rehydrate myself, and of course I got sick, and I was throwing up before the fight, throwing up, diarrhea. It was just I just couldn't believe it.
That's all you need before a fight.
So he fights the fight, and he fights good. I win the fight. I was losing the fight after the 12th round. I was losing the fight. Back then, it was 15-round fights. I fought the last 15-round fight in the history of boxing.
Wow.
And and a lot of people don't know that. But I fought him 15 rounds, the first fight. So I turned it on in the 13th, 14th, and 15th rounds. And I beat Greg Hawkins' ass in the last 3 rounds.
Wow.
Sick and all. So now, so the next fight, we're fighting a rematch. We're fighting it in Atlantic City. So I said, I beat him. I was sick as a dog the first fight. I said, I'm going to kill this guy this fight. So I let my weight go a little bit. I had to lose about a dozen pounds before the fight again.
Wow. Okay.
And I walked to the ring, and I just did a sign of the cross, and he said, God, please let me live through this fight.
Yeah.
Let me live. I know I'm not gonna win. I said, but let me live.
Wow.
So I take it like, God, let me live, because I could have got my ass kicked. And if now today there's starting to be a lot of deaths from dehydration.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Back then nobody thought of that. It wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
But so I lose that fight to him, and no big deal at all. I move up another 5 pounds to junior welterweight.
Yeah.
And I have, of course, because I was a world lightweight champion, and I had a good record. Guys wanted to fight me, and I fought for world titles in the 140 pound class. I fought Floyd Mayweather's uncle, Roger Mayweather. I fought another dude who could fight. I believe he's like kind of Mexican, I think, from California. Loreto Garza. He was pretty technically good, a real good fighter.
Okay.
And another one that everybody knows, Macho Camacho.
Yeah.
Fought him at 140. I tried to get him to fight me at 145 or 147.
Mm-hmm.
He was sharp as a tack. Crazy dude, but he was sharp as a tack. I offered him, I'd give him $100. I said we were on the phone together with the promoter.
Uh-huh.
And I said, hey Hector, I said, listen, I'll give you $100,000. Just let me weigh in. Let's make the weight for 145. He said, no, you think, what do you think? I'm crazy? You think I'm crazy, man? I'm like, oh my God. Come on, you tough guy. What's another 5 pounds? He wouldn't do it. I said, I'll give you 100,000, 5 pounds. He wouldn't do it. And,
wow.
And I was in there with him. I just felt so weak. He was fast as lightning.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. So I lost to him, Hector Macho Camacho, Loreto Garza, and Roger Mayweather, Floyd's uncle.
Yeah.
He was coaching Floyd. He just died. He just died of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons, because he died of Alzheimer's, I was the sparring partner for Rocky Lockridge when Rocky knocked him dead. So I'm sparring with Rocky Lockridge. He can't even touch me. I'm playing with him.
Yeah.
Like before the Mayweather fight, and I see him do that to Mayweather. So when I'm fighting him, I think I'm gonna kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin him. I can hit harder than Rocky Lockridge. Like, he's not gonna hit me. I'm gonna kill this guy. I walked to the fight, another walk to the fight, and did one of those up to God. Let me live, God. Let me live. This is not going to be a good night. And then Roger Mayweather started whipping out punches, and his jab was unbelievable. I knew I was in for a long night, and I knew before the fight. I just said, you're going to finish this fight, or you're going to die trying. It's simple as that.
Your life's been very much like that, hasn't it? You're an absolute warrior. You are. From me to you, you are an absolute warrior through and through. In life, in the ring, and I'm going to get to that now. So you won your light middleweight, so super welterweight, however they call it these days, against Gilbert Deli.
Only because thank God Kevin Rooney came into my life. Because if Kevin didn't come into my life, I'd either be dead right now, or I'd probably be dead if Kevin didn't come. Because I would have stayed at that weight. Because the Duvers didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
They had guys in each weight class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't care. So I would have probably ended up making the weight again and again and again, and got beat up again and again and again. What happened was I didn't have a trainer at the time. So they said, Vinny, look, this is getting too deep. The one good thing that the Duvers did was turn me on to a trainer, a real trainer, because I didn't have nobody of any significance. And they gave me 3 names to choose from. And Dan Duva said, Vinny, why don't you try Kevin Rooney first?
Mm-hmm.
So me and Kevin, were like that. We hit it off right off the bat. He was a great guy. And he puts me in the ring with his best middleweight.
Okay.
The first time I see him. Now I'm fighting at junior, like I was fighting at junior welterweight or super lightweight.
Yeah.
It's only supposed to be 140,
yeah.
but I was big, So I said to him, I said, I said, Kev, you want me to spar that guy? He goes, yeah, that's my best middleweight there. And then I was like, yeah, Kev, I only fight at junior welterweight.
Yeah.
You know that, right? He says, yeah, don't worry about it. Get in the ring. Get in the ring with him. Okay, all right. So I get in the ring with him, and the dude's name was Muta, the greatest guy in the world. He was built like Marvin Hagler.
Right, a big lad then.
He was a bad dude. So we get in the ring. We stop by. I was supposed to box him 4 rounds. Kevin took him out of the ring after the 3rd round because I was beating his ass. So now after I beat his ass for 3 rounds, I go on the heavy bag, 3 rounds. I go on the speed bag, 3 rounds. I jump rope, 3 rounds. So now I'm sweating like crazy. I probably lost about 10 pounds water weight. And Kevin says, get on the scale. I said, nah, that's okay. I'm not anywhere to fight yet. So, I'm a little out of shape. And
yeah.
So he said, come on, get on the scale. Why? He said, what do you mean, why? You got to live by the scale when you're fighting. Let's get on the scale. Let me see what you weigh. So he puts it on 140. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting it on 140. That's where you fight at. I said, yeah, but I'm not in.
Nowhere near that. Yeah.
I said, move it up. He says, well, what do you want me to move it up to? Move it up to 160. He said, 160. He said, what are you, out of your mind? And he said, you got to be kidding me, Vinny. So I said, all right, we'll move it up to 150. And so he puts it on 150, and the scale, like the professional scales, it goes boom. The metal hits the metal, boom. He goes, what the hell? Would you eat a horse after the last fight?
That's brilliant.
I was like, no, this is my weight. I'm a little heavy. I'm not in shape yet.
Yeah.
So I weigh out. I weighed out at like 154, 155, something like that. And I had to lose about 8 to 10 pounds. And he said, Vinny, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? You're gonna fight at this weight again? And I said, that's how it goes. And that's how I end up moving up in weight class. And I end up beating Gilbert Delay, the WBA champion. And then I got in the car accident.
Yeah, and that's one thing I definitely want to speak to you about. So, yeah, you just won your super welterweight world title against Gilbert Delay, which was a great win. Another world title.
You call it super welterweight. I like to call it junior middleweight.
I don't get me wrong. I prefer light middleweights every day of the week.
It's a little difference for me. Yeah, it's a little difference. I like to call it super middleweight. Junior middleweight.
Yeah, but I call it light middle. Same thing.
Junior middleweight, I ended up winning a world title at, and then I moved up to super middleweight and won 2 world titles at.
Madness. Absolute madness. Such an incredible career. You really, really did. Now I want to get straight to the roots with you here, and I want to. This is going to be pretty amazing to hear this firsthand. So, following your win over Delay, you were involved in a horrific car crash in which you sustained, hugely life-threatening damages to your body.
I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was dead when the car was sliding down the road. And I was holding on to the handle on the side of the door. Yeah. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm never gonna defend my world title." And then boom, we got nailed by some big ass town car. Yeah, crazy night.
One thing I don't know too much about this story though is what happened in the lead up to this and how it actually happened. Can you talk us through the lead up to what happened and what actually happened?
My friend picked me up at noontime, and we went to a weightlifting gym, and I would go there a couple times a week, had a workout, was gonna meet a couple of friends of mine, and I was going to the chiropractor first. Go figure.
No way.
And yeah, and so my friend was driving, and I always say speed kills. You know, my girlfriend drives like a maniac. She drives pretty fast, and I don't like it. She calms down when she's in the car with me, but like even when she's alone, when you drive with speed, there's so many things that can happen to you.
Yeah.
If you just drop it down less 10, 15 miles an hour, you know, because speed kills. So the kid was going a little too fast, and I was about to say something to him, and I didn't. Somebody cut him off. They cut right in front of him. He jacked up on the brakes, and because he was going so fast, the car started sliding into the next lane.
Right.
And I was like, boy, here we go. I'm never going to defend my world title again.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said that, boom, we got nailed. And that's it. The rest is history.
Crazy. And it was so bad. The other people in the car then, who was there anyone else injured or?
No, it was just my friend who was driving, who, you know, he was a buddy of mine at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I have no idea where he is today.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just, you know, they when they came and got my door finally open, they had to pry it open.
Okay, well, the fire department, I guess.
Yeah, the fire department. Yes, and then like all of a sudden when they seen who it was, they saw me. I was like leaned down, and when they saw me, my name just started saying, "It's Pazzy, Vinny Paz is in the car. It's Vinny Paz. Pazzy Heads is in the car." And so you hear my name going around. Crazy.
God.
And so they put me in the back of an ambulance, and I'm just laying there, not knowing anything happened to me. I don't know what. Just my neck. When they pulled me out, I said, "Whoa, it's my neck! I hurt my neck." I said,
"Yeah,
go easy." And so they put me in the back of the ambulance, and then the next thing I know, I hear this guy saying, like coming closer and closer. He was going, "You better check those kids. You better test them. They came into my lane. They were drinking. Suddenly, you better check them. They were drinking and driving." And I'm like, "What?" Man, I didn't even drink back then. Never mind drinking and driving. Mm-hmm. And now he's getting closer and closer. So I'm feeling that they're gonna put him in my ambulance. So they're pulling him in. He's coming. I said, "Holy shit!"
The same guy who was saying all the stuff about you. Once again, the
same guy who's the guy who hit us.
Bet you were fuming.
That's the guy who hit us in the accident.
Yeah.
So I was I put my foot up and I was holding him out. I wouldn't let him come in. I said, I ain't driving with this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I ain't driving with this effing guy. And I'm kicking his thing. They're trying to push it in, and I'm pushing it out with my foot, kicking it. And it was quite a moment. And then they put in my friend who was all busted up.
Yeah.
But he was all busted up from the glass. You know, he went through the glass. Man, but he was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up being fine, and that was it. And then the rest is history.
Madness. So, what injuries did you sustain then in the crash?
I broke 2 bones near the top of my neck. A vertebrae number 2 and 3.
God. So that could have well killed you on the spot, pretty much.
I was 2 hairs. I was 2 hairs away from being paralyzed.
Really?
For the rest of my life. 2 hairs.
Whoa.
Yeah, right. Crazy.
That is insane. So after this fight, now I actually put a video out on you, weirdly, about a week ago before I even knew we were speaking, and it's had thousands, tens of thousands of views now, talking about you and your career, and you're such a brave man. What were the doctors saying to you at this time? What was their, what were their comments about, you boxing again, and what were what were they saying to you?
They never thought I'd fight again. That's for sure. That was I'm like, I'm fighting again. I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about, but I'm fighting again. and I just went balls to the walls and made it happen. I got lucky. I got a little lucky. I got a lot blessed, but I got a little lucky, and I defied some odds. I worked hard though. You got to work. I busted my ass and made it happen.
Yeah.
I made the neck heal pretty good, and thank God they got those things they call the halo.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it a halo. Out of all names, a halo.
Yeah.
Both, like I woke up like hours later and I go, what the? Are you kidding me? Yeah. I got screws in my fucking head.
Did you?
These screws like in my head, like screwed in my head. I was like, what? And I still got scars from it too. If you want to be honest.
Yeah.
But it saved me. It made my neck heal.
Yeah.
That's why my parents at first were like, they were nervous. They were way more nervous than I was.
Yeah.
I told you I got lucky with parents that I had, and they were always. My mother was like, Vinny, will you please stop what you're doing? You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna be paralyzed. Please, Vinny, stop.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, yeah, all right, don't worry. and see, like I do like that, nothing. I couldn't do nothing. I was like this. I know. But I couldn't move anywhere. They had two screws here, two screws here. The fucking pipes on the vest, and I couldn't move my head nowhere. But that was 3 months.
We'll show the audience a picture of this right now. It was almost like a big cage on your head, wasn't it? Big black cage that went around. I suppose with the circle bit, maybe that was why they call it a halo, possibly. God knows, but it didn't look very comfortable, to say the least. I want to speak to you about something, Vinny. I think I understand what you mean by the comment that you said, but you, in a really famous interview of you, probably for me the most famous interview you did, was when you were there with this halo on, this contraption to keep your neck straight, if you want to call it, and you were talking to the press, and they were saying, you were saying, I don't care what they say, I'm going to fight again. They don't understand what kind of man I am. What did you mean by that?
I'm an animal.
Me and you, whenever I'm over there, me and you are going for a beer, Vinny. I'm telling you now. So, for yourself, so you've got this big contraption around your head, but you continued to train, and you continued to do the things really that you always did. How did you sleep? That's the first thing that comes to my mind when I was looking at it. How did you sleep? And how did you even think of training? How could you have even done it with this huge thing on your head?
That's real good. That's a great question. And not a lot of people ask me about that, but it was like, at first, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't say I was up all the time. I doze off because I was so tired. I'd doze off and then wake up. It was unbelievable. The screws in my skull. It was nuts. It was nuts. Sleeping was nuts at first, and then I just had to put up with it, and you live with it. I had to do it for 3 months, and it was that was one of the ugliest parts of that, is sleeping at night.
Can't
God,
imagine. I mean, even when you've got a bit of a, crack in your back, or do you know what I mean? If you've got a sore back or a sore neck, or even a headache, it's hard for weird when you're sleeping, and to have that on your head must have been absolutely horrendous. Now,
horrendous.
yeah,
Horrendous.
months
Great
later,
word.
yeah, months later, I think it's 13 or 14 months later, you then somehow, and I've got to say to you, what a story. I mean, you've come back to, you're never ever going to fight again. And you come back and you beat a future world champion, which was just incredible that you've even, Luis Santana. How did you feel at this moment? That must have been a pretty special moment that you've come back from this and then won a fight. I mean, how were you feeling on that day and that win?
Like you said, Dan, it was really special. Yeah, it was really special. I can't even put it in words. I can't put it in words. It was pretty special.
Yeah.
I felt like I was on top of the world. I like literally. I like when I won my first world title. When I won that belt, and they said the new lightweight champion, I go, oh my God! I found God. I found God that day when they gave me the title belt. I thought I found God. I definitely didn't. But and then at this one, when they called me the winner of the fight, so thought I found God again.
Yeah. God,
so
craziness.
You got to stay strong and keep it together. Stay tunneled. I was tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like believe me, I've had a lot of mishaps. Like I fell off the trail, but I kept my eye on the prize, and I always get to it. You know, like you wouldn't believe how many chicks around me, like girls back in the day. So many girls, and I'd go to them. I was Romeo.
Yeah.
I'd go and something, but I never, ever, ever let any one of them. I don't care how. And when I tell you, Dan, I had some hot ass chicks. I never not trained because of a woman. Okay. Never. And that's why I was so successful.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. And that really leads me so well onto my next question. Now, I'm a very respectful man. I've got a very loving wife, and I know you've got a partner of your own to these days. But this is history. This is the past. So you were a bit of a playboy, weren't you, when you were younger? And you say it.
Hey, Dan, a bit. Really?
You know that's like the really English way of saying that you're an absolute animal. Yeah.
My friend's here cracking up.
So I read in the press that you'd have slept with over 1,000 women, and also this is the best. Jenna Jameson, the famous porn actress that I believe that you were with at some point. Tell us about that. As a red-blooded male, I've got to hear this.
Nah, I've been with hotter girls than Jenna.
That's absolutely brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, it is brilliant.
Brilliant.
Very brilliant, Dan. Very brilliant.
I can only imagine. That's as far as that'll go. Now, in 2016, there was a film that was brought out called Bleed for This, which is behind you right there. Which was like
it's funny you say that, Dan. Yeah. Yesterday, Miles Teller texted me. Okay. Yeah, just yesterday.
Oh wow, did he? So he texted you to see how you were, kind of thing.
Yeah. He's a good kid.
Fantastic.
Good kid, great actor. My God, I couldn't have played it better than him.
Yeah. He really did. Great film. And it's just a great story, so he's always going to make a brilliant film. And I read an article with a bit of not a mishap, but let's just call it a mishap, in the... It made me laugh, if I'm being honest. In the film, and you saw when he was wearing his boxers, you recommended a certain piece of fruit. Tell the audience about that. I've got to hear this story.
when 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 I found out that they got the actor and everything, I was like, oh, that's cool. How am I gonna meet? When am I gonna meet him? And he literally wrote me a letter to my house, and so I wrote him one back, and I sent him a picture that I have, a boxing picture, and I put down, I wrote in the, I mailed it to him. I said, Miles, listen, I have a real good reputation around here. So if when you're making weight and they got you on the scale and you got your little underwears on, if I would appreciate if you put a banana in your pants and do something that if you're not like packing some heavy sausage downstairs, just do something to make it look a little bigger, because everybody knows that about me, and they're gonna say the first thing they do, they're gonna look at the fucking midsection, and they're gonna, that's not Vinny. That's not Vinny Paz.
Yeah, there's no way that's him.
So, yeah, he got the biggest kick out of it, because he went on. I think he went on Jimmy Kimmel and Jay Leno. Jimmy Kimmel, Jay Leno, and there was one other guy he went on, and he told it like he tells it every time. He said, he goes, Vinny, he's so crazy. He sent this picture to my house, and he said, Miles, pack your jock strap, put a banana in it if you're not like fucking packing, because don't ruin my reputation.
I saw it. I thought, I've got to ask him this question. Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I've never done in my life.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I've been working quite closely with Jay Newman, who's a fantastic guy. And we're working on bringing you and some other legends over to the UK when this is all over. But you actually come over to the UK, didn't you, and fought Harold Graham over here. What did you think of the UK? Did you like it?
I love it. I love the UK. I love London. If I ever see Harold Graham again, I'll choke him out.
Why?
1,000%.
Why?
Like 1,000. I will choke him out. Like I will like choke him out if I ever see him again.
Why? Why? What's he done?
That fucker. Oh, I don't give a shit. He talks about, he does the sign of the cross, and then he's not cool. He 1,000, not 100, 1,000% took the padding out of his gloves.
All right.
1,000%. Not 99, 1,000%. I've had a million fights.
Yeah.
I had over 100 amateur fights. I had 60 pro fights. I sparred probably a million rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Never, not once did I feel how I felt when he was hitting me.
Okay. Well, knuckle on knuckle.
Knuckle
on
on
bone.
knuckle.
Yeah.
Bone on bone.
Yeah.
Bone on bone. What the hell is going on here? And I'll never forget that. And then, so I didn't know, I never done that, so I don't know what it's like to, not good. But
that's interesting. I mean, I did not know that. Well, you can tell, can't you?
They took the patent out because I trust people. I don't think they're gonna do nothing. Gonna fight a fair fight. Like I do. I fight fair fights. I'm rough. I was rough, but I fight fair. I didn't send anybody to go in his locker room before the fight and check the gloves. So we get in the ring. First round, when he was hit a couple of times, like he's hitting me, and I'm going, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like
you definitely tell the difference, wouldn't you? You definitely tell the difference there.
Sure enough.
Absolutely madness. I didn't. Well, that's one for the fans. Make sure you watch the fight and have a look, keep an eye on them gloves, because yeah, that's pretty amazing. So we can't wait to to have you over here.
That's not cool. That's not
No.
cool. You
No,
can
God,
kill
no.
somebody like that. I don't know if you remember the night Roberto Duran beat Davey Moore to be the first ever, the first lightweight in the history of the world, first lightweight to go up to junior middleweight and win world titles. Roberto Duran was the first guy to do that.
Yeah.
Vinny Paz, was the second guy to do that.
Really?
How about that? You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't. I'll never get bored of this, mate. I never get bored of speaking to my best fighters. I mean, I watched you when I was a kid. You were one of my heroes.
Okay, watch this. Watch this. Now, watch this. Because this is what I thought of after this came down. I don't know if you remember a fighter. Oh God, he was fighting. They were fighting the preliminary bout before Duran fought Davey Moore to win the junior middleweight championship of the world in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And like the fight before, I can't think of the guy's name. I think it's Billy Collins was fighting a Spanish guy. And the Spanish guy had Panama Lewis in the corner. And I think it was something like Billy Costello, maybe. I can't remember his name. But it's very well known. Very well known. They went to jail. It's so well known. They went to jail because they pulled the padding out of the front of the gloves.
Really?
And he beat Collins, beat him bad, but he busted them all up because he had no padding in front of the gloves. They took it out in the back, because no one went there at that time.
Yeah.
No one went and checked the other guy's corner or checked what they're doing.
It's horrendous.
Sad.
It's crazy how things like this happen in our sport. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day. I mean, I'm not going to really point at it, but you hear what's happening with Tyson Fury and his gloves. I don't think it was that. It's just so big and he flips his jab out. That's the reason his glove looked like that. But you've got to always say there's shady things that go on in the sport of boxing. Absolutely no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
Vinny, we're really looking forward. And if you're over here, you'll be meeting me. And we're really
love it, definitely.
Yeah, we'll have a beer.
And I got a big documentary coming out. They started doing the filming. It's going to be awesome.
Well, Vinny, I just want to say from my end, just a huge thank you for coming on the show. I'm a massive fan of yours. I can't wait to see you and share a beer. Not that we'll do that these days, but it's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show.
Cool. My pleasure.
Absolutely.
We'll do it again.
100%.
We'll do it again when the documentary is coming out.
My name's Isra Asif, also known as Izzy, former professional cruiserweight boxer, now the founder of GBM. We at Global Boxing Management are working with promoters locally, nationally and internationally to make sure our fighters are put on the best possible shows. GBM, guiding fighters to the top.